Just want to say first off, I'm fully aware that the championship has now started, but this video took quite a bit of editing and making to do, so it took a bit of time. And yeah, if you were to drop a like and a subscribe, it would mean a huge amount. If you're not happy with my predictions, don't get too arsey or annoyed. Just go with it. Enjoy. Quite a long one, but let's get straight into it. Over to you, David. You can clearly see I'm a Forest fan. This is our brand new away kit for the season. Really exciting times. Only we say that quite a lot as Forest fans, but moving on quickly. Just a quick side note, if you do hear some noise in the background in this video, it's because we're having some work done to our chimneys, so that's one of the reasons why I'm in a different room this time, so just trying to ignore that. Anyway, 24th is Charlton Athletic. I don't know why I built that up so much. 24th is Charlton. Won the playoffs last season in League One, so that surely means that they've got to be one of the weaker teams to come up. They haven't really signed anyone other than a player who was in non-league last season, a player from MK Dons, and Tom Lockyer from Bristol Rovers, which isn't an amazing signing, but I believe he's played for Wales a few times. I might have been mixing it up with somebody else, but if it is him, international experience will help. So that's not bad, but the players that they sold, they got no profit on it, which is not a good thing, because surely, I'm not saying all the players are crap, but surely they could have got some money from some of those players instead of just letting them go on free. So that's not great financially for them, and especially with a club that have had a lot of protests, you know, behind the scenes about the owners and financial side of things. I can't see anything other than 24 for you, or relegation zone. You could stay up, you could surprise a few, but for me, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be 24th. 23rd place, another promoted side, I'm afraid, Barnsley. Now this team are a team that constantly come up, then get relegated, come up, then get relegated, and just repeat the cycle over and over again. They do it all the time, Barnsley, in the Championship. And I can't see it changing, to be honest, because, you know, you haven't really signed anyone in particular, apart from Luke Thomas from Derby for £1 million. You haven't really made any quality signings either. You have lost Bradshaw to Millwall, which is a bit of I'm pretty sure he's one of your best players. From just what I'm looking at, you know, transfers and all that, not that good. So, sorry, Barnsley, 23rd place. Just mentioned them, Millwall in 22nd. Millwall had a very good start, very good second half of the season when they first came up to the Championship, and nearly looked as if they were going to get promoted or at least make the playoffs, but they didn't quite have enough in the end. Then last season they struggled like mad and kind of reverted back to what we expected them to do, and I can't really see it changing. They've made some good signings, but I don't really think it's going to be enough. They have lost Lee Gregory, which isn't very good, to Stoke City, who I'll get onto them in a minute. And, you know, they've signed Bonvodson from Reading, which isn't a bad signing. Also, like I mentioned, Tom Bradshaw and a Ipswich goalkeeper, as well as Frank Fielding. So they've been very busy. Conor Mahoney, I think that's how you say his name, from Bournemouth. He was linked with Forest a few years ago. Millwall, they could stay up because they are quite good signings, but overall, they do lack quality. So for me, Millwall are going to finish 22nd. 21st place is going to be the only promoted side surviving, Luton Town. Now, Luton haven't really made a huge amount of signings. Callum McManaman, who's got a lot of experience with Wigan, and Jacob Butterfield, who used to play for, Derby. I'm sorry, I'm bad to say that word. They've also got Brendan Galloway from Everton on loan. They have lost James Justin as well to Leicester City. I don't know why I hesitated that. I knew that. Leicester City, they're right back, yeah. I think it would be lovely and really good to see them stay up, because they've had a really bad time in the last few years. The financial side of things saw them fall all the way to the National League, and they had to slowly work their way back up. Look forward to when Forest play them. It would be a good game, that. Luton 21st. 20th place for me is going to be Wigan. Now, this team could do a little bit better than I'm predicting, but looking at their signings, they've not really done that much, really. They've lost Christian Walton, who was with them for 2 years on loan. Not bad at all. Very good goalkeeper, but, you know, they haven't really replaced him, which could be a very, very bad thing, because he was very important to them. They've also got players like Josh Windass, who did very well for them last season as well. You still have experienced players like Sam Musi, who went to the World Cup last year with Egypt. You've also got Danny Fox, who I wish was still at Forest, who should do well for you. 19th place for me is going to be Reading. This is a team that were on the very brink of the Premier League 2 years ago, but lost the playoff final. And the last 2 years, they've nearly got relegated. I mean, how can you go from being that close to the Premier League, then straight away you just nearly get relegated 2 years in a row? By the looks of things, it doesn't look as if you're going to change, because the players who got you in that position, the majority of them probably left. You signed Charlie Adam, which, if it was a Charlie Adam from Liverpool, maybe it would have been good, but no, it's the crap Charlie Adam from Stoke. It's not that good, really, is it? They're both the same players, by the way. Then, yeah, moving on. You've also got young players like Liam Moore and John Swift, I believe, still quite a young player as well. Mo Barra's all right as well, from what I've seen of him. You also got a younger player from Chelsea on loan. I don't know how to say his name on the screen now. 18th place, QPR. Now, they are being run by our former manager, Mark Warburton. I reckon he'll do a good job there. This might be a little bit of a harsh position to put them in, to be honest, because they have made some good signings. Todd Kane from Chelsea, Luke Amos on loan from Tottenham, and then Jeff Cameron from Stoke, Mark Pugh from Bournemouth, Jordan Hugo, who didn't really get a look in at West Ham, signed him as well. Overall, the rest of their squad I don't think is that good, so for that reason, they're going to be 18th. And, you know, in recent times, other than last season, Forest have had a fantastic record against them. We beat them 5-2 and 4-0 a few years ago. So if we can do that, Forest, they can't be that good. 17th place for me is going to be Preston. Preston have got a good manager in Alex Neil, but they haven't really got that much quality. They really struggled last season. Then they had quite a good ending, but they really tailed off, and it didn't really work in the end when people thought they were actually going to do quite well towards the end. But yeah, they really bottled it kind of, their chances of doing all right. They have lost Robinson, who's gone to Sheffield United. You've also signed Patrick Bauer from Charlton, I forgot to mention earlier. That probably is the Robinson replacement. Is he really as good as he was? Probably not. And Andre Green on loan from Aston Villa as well. I think you could definitely do with some more players, but for me, maybe a bit harsh, but 17th for Preston. 16th place, Birmingham City. Birmingham, they sacked Gary Monk, which I don't know why they did, because I think Gary Monk's a very good manager. I don't know why you got rid of him. You've also sold Shea Adams to Southampton. You got profit for him, but it's still a huge loss of a very talented young striker. Ever since Gary Rowett left, when you were in like the playoffs, you've really struggled. Been in relegation battles, with just very mediocre mid-table, and it's a real shame. And as far as I know, I don't know whether you got a new manager or not. Probably should have found out, but anyway, moving on. You have made 2 signings there. You've signed, get this, Ivan Sunjic from Dinamo Zagreb for £7 million. Never heard of him before. Danny Crowley as well from William 2. He's an attacking midfielder, so who knows what they're going to do. Never heard of them. 15th place, Blackburn Rovers, the only team outside the Premier League to have won the Premier League. They've really fell off massively, and it's a real shame what's happened to that club, and they've had a lot of issue with the owners in recent times, but you've still got some good players. Ben Brereton, former Forest lad, of course, and Bradley Dack as well. Signed some experienced players in Stuart Downing as well. Walton, like I mentioned earlier, who was at Wigan, he's now with Blackburn as well. And a youngster from Man City, I'm not sure how to say his name. You've also signed David Marshall, who's got plenty of experience as well. That should be a good signing. As well as keeping Anton Robinson from Everton. 14th place, Hull City. The Hull, recently in the Premier League, really. They got 2 FA Cup finals in recent years as well. But they've been quite crap recently, haven't they? Eric Lehigh, former Forest man, never, ever forget the goal he scored against Arsenal. What a volley. What a volley, you legend. Jackson Irville as well, Australian international, Gazitsky, and Jared Bowen, who's highly rated as well. Gazitsky was actually linked with us at one point this summer, but I highly doubt we'll get him. Not bad signings, not bad players. And yeah, you've not really done that much in the transfer window other than sign Tom Evans or Eves or whatever from Gillingham, and Ryan Tafazoli, I've probably said that wrong, from Peterborough. Can't see anything more than just mid-table. 13th place, Sheffield Wednesday, another team, a bit like Reading, who were on the verge of the Premier League a few years ago when they were in the playoffs. Had quite a few years in a row where they were in the playoffs, and then they've really fell off. And towards the end of last season, they They had a fantastic run. They beat us 3-0. That was when we were playing crap. And they really looked like the team that they were a few years ago. They're starting to get momentum, but that's all been gone. Now Steve Bruce has buggered off to bleeding Newcastle. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, I know why he's gone, but he's not good enough for bleeding Newcastle, is it? Like, Steve Bruce, and you had Rafa Benitez. I said it in my Premier League video. I'm not going to go into it again. You also lost Daniel Pudi and George Boyd. They're big losses. So for me, again, I think you could definitely get back to the playoff places and challenge again. But for me, right now, you're still going to be the same. 12th place, Stoke City. This team massively underperformed last year. Really, a lot of people put them first. I didn't. I put them about mid-table. Not taking any voice for that management, but yeah. They've still got a lot of experience, like Sam Vokes, Bojan, who was meant to be the next Messi apparently. He really didn't work out, did him? But bloody Stoke City, isn't he? Yeah. Saido Berahino, who doesn't score goals for like 5 years in a row. And then Tommy and Sam Clucas as well as somehow you still have Jack Butland. I don't get that. How's he still playing for a club like Stoke? No offence to you, Stoke, but he should be at a Premier League side. 11th place for me is going to be Brentford. Now, Brentford are a team with plenty of young players in their squad. They have Ollie Watkins, who's very highly rated, and that French striker they have. I don't know how to say his name. Neil Mappick or something. I have no idea. And also, surely one of the signings of the summer for the Championship, Pontus Jansson, has ended up joining Brentford. I don't know how that's happened, because why on earth have Leeds let him go? And even though he's left, I still think Leeds are going to do alright. What's inspired him to go and join Brentford? I think it's weird. Another signing you've made for a fair amount of money as well, £3 million. Matthijs Jensen from Celta Vigo as well. Not an amazing signing, I've never really heard of him, and also Joel Valencia as well as a midfielder, and Ethan Pinnock, centre-back. So signed a lot of players, but you've got to all gel together, and they have to be consistent, which has been a huge issue for Brentford and majority of all teams in the Championship. Nothing just against Brentford. Majority of all teams in the Championship, that's what cost them. So I reckon that's going to be the same for Brentford. But they do have a lot of good players in their squad, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did as well as I'm predicting them to do. 10th place, Huddersfield, the first relegated Premier League team in this list. They had an absolutely crap season last year, just rubbish in every way. Only got about 16 points or something, or 14 points, whatever. Really poor, just embarrassing. Not as bad as Derby, though. Don't want to do that. They haven't really made that many signings. Signed Isaac Mbeza from Montpellier for £11 million. What I'm bloody on about. £11 million. I said £11. Not like old days. Tommy Elpick as well, who used to play for Bournemouth, I believe. He was from Villa, one of the many players that they've released. And Reece Brown as well from Forest Green. That's one hell of a signing. Unbelievable. However, the loss of Philip Billing to Bournemouth for 15 million, managed to get that much out of him, is going to cost them a lot. As I said earlier, they sold Tommy Smith to Stoke. Ruben Ansobi, who I've always thought was a decent player, but they've loaned him out to some Egyptian team. And Eric Drum, who was actually at Dortmund before he joined Huddersfield, and now he's gone back to the Bundesliga to another decent side, Frankfurt. So not bad. And they've also sold Jonas Losel, their goalkeeper, to Everton, where he won't get a look in. And Chris Lowe has also gone to Dresden in the second tier of the Bundesliga. I think it's going to affect them. The fact that they've been relegated so badly, and just relegation, it's always going to affect the team. They've still managed to keep all the players like Aaron Moy as well. It's mental that they've still got him. And they've still got Schindler as well. Another player that they've lost is Laurent de Poitre, who's gone to Ghent in Belgium. So, again, that was for nothing as well. And they should have got something out of a deal like that. Jonas Losel, he just wanted to leave, and it was his contract up. So that's probably why they've sold most of these. But fly, sod off. Go! Bugger off! I'm talking to a fly, what am I doing? I don't think it's going to be too long before they come back to the Premier League. Ninth place, Swansea City. Now, even though they have lost Daniel James to Man United, of course, 15 million, huge loss there, they still have a decent side, and to be honest, I'm kind of regretting putting them this high because just about an hour ago, before I started to record this video, I just found out they sold Ollie McBurney to Sheffield United. So I'm kind of regretting this because they've sold their two best players. So this probably, if I do a reaction video to this in about a year, isn't going to go down well at all. So, yeah. It just happens to be they've sold Ollie McBurney once I've done my predictions. That's mental, isn't it? If anything had done well on my football manager saving Forest. 8th place, no biased. No biased, no biased. 8th place, Derby in 8th. I'm not being an idiot. I'm deliberately putting you outside the playoffs. I generally don't think the world make the playoffs. 8th place, they've lost Lampard, they've lost Wilson, they've lost Mount. 3 massively important names last season to Derby. Only reason why they did that well. Mount was fantastic. Wilson was unbelievable at free kicks. Lampard, even though it's his first season, he really struggled. And now he's decided to go to Chelsea, which is far too early in my opinion, but that's another topic. They haven't really signed anyone. They've signed Shinnon from Aberdeen, and that's about it really. And I know he's a loan player, but he's still a traitor now. Kieran Dowell on loan. He was on loan to us 2 years ago. And yeah, you've also got Philip Cuckoo as your manager. He's got plenty of experience with PSV. He's actually had 2 separate spells there. One was 4 years, one was about a season or so. His last job was last year with Fenerbahce. That only lasted about 3 months. So I don't know whether he got sacked or not, but he just left, but didn't go well for him. But we'll see how he does at Derby. He's his first time he's managed a lower division side, where Fenerbahce are a team that always do really well in the Turkish league, apart from last season. PSV are one of the top 3 sides in the Netherlands as well. For me, Derby, 8th. 7th place, Bristol City. This team, several times in the last few years since they come back up to the Championship, quite a while ago now, have really challenged for promotion, but they've also had a lot of spells where they were crap. And last season, at one point, I think they were the informed team in Europe. They had the best form in the whole of Europe. They haven't really made a huge amount of signings, but they have permanently signed Thomas Callas, who's been at loads of clubs on loan from Chelsea and not played a single game. However, though, one thing that could really hurt them is Adam Webster has been linked with a move to Brighton if Lewis Dunk was to go to Leicester to replace Maguire, who will be going to United. It's merry-go-round. That would be a huge loss if they were to lose him. I think City definitely need to be more consistent if they want to try and push for the players, but several times they've done well. They've still got a lot of good players. Jamie Patterson, ex-Forest, of course, does very well for them. They've got a lot of other good players. Weinman is also decent as well. So they've got a good squad. I reckon, they're just going to miss out. And 6th place. You know, I said not being biased with Derby. Okay, there's a tiny bit of bias here. Well, not tiny, huge. I put Forest in 6th place. Don't know why I stand the table there. 6th place. I think it's a mixture of me being overexcited and overconfident when Forest have done this loads in the past. Not to this level, but several times in the past we've looked good in pre-season and signed some good players, and we've just disappointed everyone. Last season was massive progress for Forest. I loved it last season, apart from crap results against Rotherham and Reading and QPR and bloody Ipswich away, games like that, bottling it against Norwich as well. This has been our issue for years and years. We have done really, really well against the top sides. Drew West Brom twice. Dwagger robbed us, of course. And then we've done horrendous against the crap sides, you know. Rotherham away. We lost to Rotherham. Rotherham United away. How's that happened? Seriously. If we'd won those games, or if we hadn't drawn as many, we drew like 14 or 12 or something, we would have 100% got the playoffs. We were like 6 points off the playoffs last season, which is huge progress after finishing 2 goals above the relegation zone and then 17th. And I'm still annoyed we got rid of Karanka, because I loved Karanka. I thought he was doing such a good job. He basically rebuilt the whole club because he brought in 17 players or something ridiculous like that. he was rebuilding that side, and he was doing such a good job. Because we were slightly out the playoffs after Christmas, he sacked. Not sacked, he walked. I don't blame him because the board are pressuring him. So for that reason, I get it. But, you know, O'Neill was the wrong appointment. I'm glad he's gone, to be honest. I know he's a legend, but I'm sorry, you just weren't the right guy, mate. Lamucci, I'm not going to lie, I've never, ever heard of him. But promising signs. He definitely seems to know what he's doing. He knows a lot about football from what I can see. Tactics look alright so far, but there's definitely areas we need to improve. I went to that Palace game recently in a pre-season friendly, and there was a lot of times where we weren't marking players and we weren't playing very well. We were just making silly mistakes, and if we just get rid of those mistakes, we will be a very good side. We've made some very good signings. 3 players from Benfica, Ribeiro, Semedo, who looks really good, and Thiago Silva, who also looks good. Not that one, unfortunately. And, you know, lots of other good players. Albert Adoma's got plenty of experience with Villa in the Premier League and Championship. Promoted twice as well with Borough as well. So that's another very good signing. Sammy Abiobi is a bit of a weird one, but he looks alright, to be honest. I'll be honest with that. And Muric on loan from Man City, who I'm really, really happy with him. That's such a good signing. Lost Ben Osborne, which is a shame, but you know, it was probably about time he moved on, to be honest. But it's sad that he's gone. He served us very well. Yeah, thanks, Benny. So for me, I really hope this happens. I can't tell you enough. I've never known Forest in the Premier League in my life, and that's such a sad thing to see that 2-time European Cup winners have not been in the Premier League for 20 seasons. Knowing Forest will bottle it or will just disappoint, more likely. So, Forest, 6th place. 5th place, Middlesbrough. Now, they were in the playoffs for majority of all of last season, but they 100% bottled it, and even we beat them 3-0, and they've got Jonathan Woolgate in charge, a former player, of course, at them, and Real Madrid, of course. And yeah, they've not really done that much at all in the transfer window, but they do still have a lot of good players like Dale Fry as well. And one thing they have done is they have sold Aidan Flint to Cardiff for £4 million. They haven't really replaced him, so that could be a bit of an issue. So for me, Borough is still a decent side. 5th place for Borough. 4th place, the second Premier League team to get relegated, Cardiff City. Cardiff did really well last season. They had a lot of fight, but at the end of the day, the lack of quality cost them massively, and that is why they got relegated. They haven't really signed anyone, but like I mentioned just then, they signed Aidan Flint from, I put Villa in my notes, what am I doing? From Borough, Middlesbrough. Not really made many quality signings, but you know, you still have a fantastic manager like Neil Warnock, and you know, I think it's excellent that he's still there. You have sold Manga and Kenneth Zahor as well, which could be a bit of a bad thing, but you still have a good squad. So for me, you'll finish in 4th. 3rd place, West Brom. West Brom have got a fantastic manager in Slaven Bilic. I think it's funny how he's managed both West sides, and West Brom, West Ham. I think that's funny. Anyway, not really signed anyone. You have lost Craig Dawson, you've lost Rondon, which is huge. You don't have Dwight Gale on loan anymore. Thank God for that. He can't cheat against us or anybody else. So they haven't really done a huge amount of business, but overall you still have a very good team. You still have a lot of experience. You don't have Mason Holgate anymore, who was on loan from you. You had from Everton. You don't have Che Rodriguez either, who's gone to Burnley. So that's a bit of a bad thing, but I still think West Brom will be alright. 2nd place, automatic promotion, Fulham. Fulham really disappointed last season. Spent £100 million. Signed too many players. This is the reason why I think Villa will go down. I still think you have a lot of quality. You have Mitrovic, you have Anthony Knockaert from Brighton. I think it's a fantastic signing. You have lost players. You've lost Seri, who's certainly going to leave permanently when this season's over. Lost other players like Babel and Schürrle, who are on loan, or one of them's on loan, Schürrle. Big losses they are. And you still have Sessegnon, which is very important, but you still need to improve your defence. So for me, I'm going to put you in 2nd. So first, the team that I think will be automatically promoted, champions, I think you all know who it is by now, Leeds United. Yes, Leeds, they've always been there, they've always been in and around this area, every season look as if they're going to get promoted. Last season they came very close, but they threw it away really, finishing third, bottled the lead against Derby. Don't really know much about the transfers they've made, but I do know for sure that they've made a very good signing in Helder Costa from Wolves, which I think is a fantastic signing, on loan with the option to buy as well, which is even more important. They've got plenty of experience, their players, and so is Helder Costa as well from Wolves, who didn't really get a chance properly in the Premier League. And I think another very important thing, they would have learnt a lot from their experiences last season. You know, they've learnt where they've went wrong, they've learnt how they're going to get better, and I think that's the same with most teams, and that's where Forest are learning as well, where a lot of teams are learning and getting better, and I think that's exactly what Leeds are going to do. And yeah, they've got plenty of very good players in their squad. We already know that. Kemar Roof, the cheat, he is in their squad, of course, and a lot of good players in their team. They've got an ex-Real Madrid goalkeeper and a very good, young, exciting backup goalkeeper in Peacock Fowler as well. And just in general, they've got a really good squad, so I think they'll have more than enough. They'll be either them, Fulham or West Brom. One of my top three could get first, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. I cannot wait. I am so excited for it to come back tomorrow, or when you're saying tomorrow, you'll probably be watching this on the day it starts, which will be Saturday. So thank you very, very much for watching. If you got to this point, like I said in Premier League 1, well done. Did a good job. Anyway, yeah. So guys, yeah, hopefully be more football videos like this coming soon. I might do a review of each week in maybe the Championship and Premier League and just general football, because I absolutely love football, as you can tell, just the way I'm talking about it, and you know, it's one of the best ways I can talk about it to other people. So I'm thinking of definitely doing that, doing like a review or transfer review or something like that each week. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out for more gaming videos. Of course, a series of me and another YouTuber, more just mate, Shabadua, who is another mate of mine on YouTube. We did this Forza Horizon 4 series. If you've not seen that, go and check it out, because it's just banter, really, it's just jokes. Another episode of that will be coming on his channel very soon. Don't know when, he said it's going to be very soon though. I'll be responding to that. As far as I know, it's going to be the beta, I can't remember what it's called, the one where if you play Forza you will know, where you're flying against you're racing against a massive aircraft carrier. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, guys. I really appreciate any support. I know I'm a tiny channel, I have a tiny amount of subscribers and just views and everything, but I still love doing videos every now and then, and just whenever one of you leaves a comment or a like, really does mean a lot to me, guys. So thank you very much for the support. Subscribe if you're new, guys. Like and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, until next time, see you next. Leicester, see you later. See ya.